This is the Christian Life Coach Collective, and I'm your host, Laura Malone. We're talking all things coaching, concepts, tips, tools, self-coaching, mindset, faith foundations, and definitely entrepreneurship, because I want to support your calling as a coach and help you build a thriving online business with God as your CEO. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Here we go. All right, today, Coach Eve and I are still talking, and we're talking about how she wants to show up in sessions with clients. It's such a mental shift to go into coaching and client work. It requires your own self-leadership to even show up to ask the questions and struggle through the things that she's bringing up. So I think it really takes courage to face the stuff and commitment to overcome the stuff, right? But she's doing it. I'm so proud of her. In fact, I would say all of my clients are just constantly taking massive action by showing up as a client with me, the coach. And that's just part of the process. Becoming great coaches and bravely starting businesses, they're all in this process. And I love to watch all of the struggles that they go through because they're getting results all the way through, even if it's not the results they want. Failure is just getting different results than what you had hoped or expected for. But you keep going and you get different results the next time. And you just keep learning, you tweak and refine. And ultimately one day you get the results that you are satisfied with. And I can almost guarantee you that when you push through all of the undesired results, you will end up with the results that are better than the ones you would have gotten had you succeeded the first time. Quotes, air quotes. So taking these massive actions are huge. It's really brave to show up and do the work. Eve is just one of the many coaches who is doing the work in her own life so she can help other people do the work in theirs. Now, I want to remind you in all of these sessions that this was actually a live coaching session I do for a group of coaches. And it ended up at some point, it was just me and Eve one day. And so we were just I did a coaching / teaching session with her for an hour and a half. And I loved it. I just kept going and it was great and it benefited her. So there is a mixture in here of me teaching, which is one reason I turned it all into episodes, because I'm actually teaching her things. This is not what a life coaching session would sound like, okay? So if you were looking to become a life coach, then I want to remind you that what you're hearing in these episodes is not just coaching, because I'm also teaching in it. And that's what my podcast is, right? I'm not coaching you right now. In my podcast, I might be teaching you things. I might be advising you in things. I might be helping you to think differently and so forth, that then you do the growth, right? But I'm not coaching you because you're not my client. Right now, you're my listener. So unless there's a client involved, coaching is not happening. What's happening on the other side is teaching or consulting or advising, but you're not necessarily coaching somebody if there's no client involved. I just want to give that caveat because I don't want you to misconstrue these sessions that I'm airing as an episode as what a coaching session always must sound like, because I am doing teaching. And then, there's times where you might be counseling a friend but calling it coaching. It's real easy for that stuff to get mixed up. And I like to be very clear that there's a difference between coaching and counseling, but there's also a difference between coaching and consulting and coaching and teaching. And when you have some type of sharing platform, like a podcast, a blog, or a video channel, even on social media, that is teaching. You're sharing, but it's not coaching unless you've got somebody in front of you that you are asking questions, you're giving guidance to, and they actually pick that up and do the work themselves. That's coaching, okay? Eve is definitely taking massive action. I am teaching her some things in here, but I'm also asking her questions so that she can arrive at the decisions that are most, they're right for her. She's going to do what she knows she needs to do. And she's very motivated to go do it, especially after this great session that's turned into, I think, 5 different episodes. So bless you guys. I hope this is helpful to you and can contextualize for you the things that you might be questioning and struggling with in your own mind about how do I show up? How do I gain confidence as a coach? And answer some of the questions that she's bravely asking for you. All right, take a listen. Okay, here's what I want you to also stop and do for a second. Come to center. Okay, we just spent an hour and 20 minutes coaching. I had no idea what I was going to help you with. We just started talking.
Right.
Natural, regular conversation, right? And you didn't know necessarily what you were needing helping with. You knew a couple of things like general, but then you had an opportunity with somebody who was listening to talk it out. And you got clarity by taking action, the talking, the showing up and talking, right? You got clarity because you were able to like process and verbalize and get feedback and ask questions and then be challenged. And now you are going to end this session feeling confident that you know more than you did.
Right.
And that feels a lot better than you did an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in your own coaching, you're wondering, like, will people feel like they got results if I don't know really what I'm doing? I'm just showing up because naturally I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to listen and I'm going to give you feedback. That's coaching.
Right.
Okay. Asking great questions and being able to be a great listener.
Right.
And I'm not trying to put on you. I'm not telling you everything you have to do. I'm giving you, and graphic artist eye on feedback on your podcast art, but you don't even have to do that. You ask my opinion, like this is my feedback.
Right.
But I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm just listening and I'm asking you more questions and I'm walking you through a process. Only because I'm a few steps up on the stairway like from you. So everything that you're worried about, I just showed you how possible it is to do it. And it's easy. Just be present, be available. Right? So this is what I just did with you is what you're going to do with women who aren't sure what they need. And that's okay. Because you're going to go, that's all right. Let's just talk.
Right.
We're going to figure it out. Right. And so a lot of times, let's say you do 4 sessions, 6 sessions with somebody. The first couple of sessions, if they've never done coaching and they're not understanding, it's just going to be a lot of talking and listening. Right. They're going to talk it out. You're going to listen. You're going to ask them more questions to help them get more awareness. And you're going to learn about them too. And you're going to learn, wow, I didn't even know they needed, like, that was something that was going to come up. And I didn't know I had the answers when it was time. The Lord filled my mouth when it was time to talk. And that's going to happen. So let that give you confidence that you can do what I just did for somebody else.
Yeah.
I
feel all things are possible now. Let's get off this call. I got things to do.
Like everything is figured out. All things are possible. Together we can figure out how.
Yes. Okay.
And it's all going to process. Like I started out in my coaching and I started out in my podcast in a very different place than I've landed now. And this is going to still keep evolving what I do.
And I've been talking myself through that the last couple of weeks in particular. This doesn't matter. I'm just starting. It's not going to end this. It's always going to go forward. And I'm becoming okay with that. So that's, yeah. Okay. Well, I think you're on to something great. Keep going.
Thank you. Thanks. You're such a good encourager too. Thanks for all your encouraging words and emails.
Yeah. I believe in what you're doing. I think what you're doing is great. I think it is a helpful, practical, insightful Christian way of doing things, godly way of doing things. And I just really appreciate it's exactly what I needed in life. So
yeah. Okay. All of those words, you need to put all of that in your language about what you offer.
Okay. I'll have to go.
Whatever it is that you like, think about it this way. Whatever it is that you love getting, that you appreciate about other people that you listen to and consume from and respect, that is what you want to produce. So when you're casting vision for your own business and your own type of coaching, use all of the same language of what you respect, because that's what you want to become.
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
Whatever you're consuming and you appreciate your consumption of, it's because it's going to influence what you want to produce.
Right.
And so let that be, you know what I want to do? I want to be an inspiration. I want to encourage. I want to give people roadmaps. I want to give them real time tools and equipping. And here's the deal. I know you don't want to tell everybody what to do. People want you to tell them what to do.
I know. That's what I hear in all the things that I listen to that about business and stuff. That's what people want. I just have
we just spent an hour and a half. I asked you a bunch of questions, but I led you to knowing what to do. You're making the decision to do it. I'm not demanding that you do it.
Right.
But I'm leading you to the revelation that it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm giving you like, oh, you're doing that? We could also do this. Mm-hmm. And I want you to consider doing that.
Right.
And here's some options. And then along the way, that's what coaching is. I'm not telling you have to do these things, but I'm providing space for you to figure out what needs to be done. Exactly. And that is where you feel like you could potentially, after an hour and a half, feel like, Lord told me what to do. And I did. But you feel like you know what to do. And most of us don't realize, like, no, I actually figured that out myself.
Yeah.
You know, because we want to say like somebody else told me to do it.
Yes.
We also like to say like, well, I'm going to wait till God tells me to do it. Yes. And then when it doesn't go well, we blame him instead of taking responsibility. Right. It's the same thing. But when you take ownership and say like, I just actually spent that time with Laura and she walked me through things and asked me things and I have figured out what to do. And now I'm going to go do it. That is going to feel really powerful to you. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to feel empowered because you take ownership of it. Mm-hmm. And you're going to relay that into your own coaching. You're not going to go tell people what to do. You're just going to be there and hold space for them to figure it out. Mm-hmm. So again, don't worry that you're going to just tell people what to do. Because you're a good coach and you're going to be able to like help people just have space to figure it out.
Yeah. 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 I think that part of my struggle is that I can be bossy. And I know that, so I don't want to be bossy. Okay. But
do you think you're as bossy with like a client as you would be with like your son?
No.
Okay.
No.
So this is the thing. I'm not being bossy with you, but ask my kids. They're going to tell you. Ask my friends and they're going to go like, she's kind of bossy sometimes, but it's different when you're with a client.
Yes.
So don't worry about that so much.
Yeah. It's not forefront in my mind. It's just kind of like hanging back there. It's like, oh, but you can be bossy. And I talk a lot. I talk a lot. And that is a struggle I have because I know that I need to be listening more. So, but at least I recognize that I have it. So it'll get better with time. All right. Well, I'm going to get this.
When you're coaching people, you can get feedback. Feel like, did you have enough time to talk?
Yeah.
Do you feel like I talked too much? Did you feel like you had enough time to talk and share? Did you have enough space? Was there any feedback you would give me on how much information I gave? And now remember, you're going to create content. Mm-hmm. That's where you get to talk.
Right.
And then when you get with a client,
right,
active listening is more important.
Right.
But you and I just talked back and forth. We just had a long conversation. Right. Yeah. But there was space for you to talk, but then there was space for me to give you feedback or teach you something or ask you questions. So I did talk a lot, but it's because, it's not a counseling session.
Right.
But it's good that you notice like that it's, important to practice that more active listening too.
All right. I got this. I can do this.
I hope that you loved this episode and you feel challenged, inspired, and encouraged. If you're a coach or you want to be one, jump into the Christian Life Coach Collective Facebook group so we can connect over there. And to work with me, grab the links in the show notes to get quick clarity about your calling as a coach and entrepreneur, as well as how to get trained as a coach with Sterling & Stone and start your own business. Bless you, friend.